This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On tap is what should be a pretty good matchup between the Washington Redskins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. Just a short time ago, the Buccaneers emerging from their tunnel to the roar of this frenzied crowd here in the Sunshine State. And we're in the big ship, and fittingly, everyone here ready to do battle as Tampa Bay gets ready to match up with the Washington Redskins. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Buccaneer ball club. Things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point, but boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by their 6'4" quarterback, the former #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Let's get it working. Ready. Blue ready. Got.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Winston. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A very solid gain of 27.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Zach Brown in there to drop him, and he continues to wreak havoc in offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. So a first quarter sack, and remember, keep in mind he had 2 sacks in last week's game.
And it's always intriguing to me to watch these great pass rushers because some of them, they need their teammates to scheme for them, maybe occupy people and make it a one-on-one matchup. Other guys, they just defeat everything in front of them. To get 2 sacks in a game, it's a little bit of both for you.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Working out of the gun, Winston. And this is going to be incomplete. Breaking that one up, the former All-Pro Josh Norman. And we get a glance now at the Buccaneer offense.
And Deshaun Jackson is the guy that your eyes naturally gravitate towards because he's a big play waiting to happen. In his career, usually averages about 20 yards a catch. Last season in 2017, closer to 13 yards per catch. Look for him to be recommitted to getting back downfield and catching the long ball.
3rd and long for Winston. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say a great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
A first carry now for Adrian Peterson. Oh, now he bowls him over. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
Right. What do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoot full, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game. And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense. But how about the big guy there showing some agility? He just flowed from his D-tackle position in order to make that play.
They're going to look to throw. Throw right side, caught by Davis. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. Able to power through. Got a man out of the backfield. It's Chris Thompson. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. 20! And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. 31 yards there and a first down. If you're an Adrian Peterson fan, that's the sign that you want to see right there on the other end. They got to learn to get him down, or this could be a long one.
And it's also the sign that his team wanted to see. Him making that type of a run, having a force and an impact on the game that early, that really demoralizes the defense because they realize it could be a long game trying to get him on the ground.
Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15.
Let's go!
They run. Peterson. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Stop made there by Gerald McCoy. And a quick look at the Buccaneer defensive starters.
And linebacker Levante David uses his speed and his smarts to overwhelm opposing offenses. Forced 5 fumbles in 2017. That's a carryover from what we saw him do at the University of Nebraska. He's a guy you got to count for on every snap.
They'll look to throw. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Trey Quinn, his first NFL reception, goes for 6. And the Redskins have taken a first-quarter lead. So that's the rookie's first trip to the end zone, and I think it's safe to say one he'll always remember.
Oh, without a doubt. That one is going to be imprinted forever. And nowadays, we're seeing rookies make a greater impact at that position at receiver than ever before. I think mainly because of the sheer volume of footballs that they catch in college.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time with just punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. And now a look at the Washington defense.
A force off the edge is Ryan Kerrigan, who's had 24 sacks in the last 2 seasons alone, and that's second only to Chandler Jones over that span. Not only does he get to the quarterback, he knows how to strip the ball away from him as well. And that was something he did particularly well when he was at Purdue. Noted for forcing fumbles, for takeaways. He's carried that over quite well in the NFL.
3 down. Ready? Black, 20.
A first carry now for the rookie from SC. It's Ronald Jones. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
First quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play calling.
A toss play. This is Peterson. Room here to run. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. And what they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
He'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front, nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Floating one, incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Josh Doxson, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the second level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw here. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The former first-round pick, Vernon Hargraves, the one who was there defensively.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Ready? Black 22.
A give to Jones. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
I got it.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Black 22.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on third down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, third down conversions. So they got one there. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. The numbers for Jones last week, 19 carries, 53 yards.
They've won 2 straight games, and they've done it with the running game as the focal point of their offense. So in this contest, I don't think about doing anything else. I continue to ride the hot hand that I've established and lead with the runners.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
Now they nabbed the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head.
Still
you know, it just
down.
has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
Ready? Black 25.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Watch that in. Watch that in. Tight end's right. Tight end's right. Ready? Black 22's hot. Check.
On third down, Winston. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47.
And go. Interception, baby. All day. All day. Pass.
And our focus now moves to Adrian Peterson. Last week, a strong showing, up over 100, also 2 trips to the end zone.
It's the kind of week that if you said, listen, I'll let you have this type of a game each and every week, you'd sign up for it. You wouldn't try and get too greedy. But let's face it, good runners always want to be a little bit more greedy at the end, try and squeeze out every last yard. He's going to try and duplicate that and exceed it in this game. That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
They toss it left side to Peterson. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down. Now whistles as time has run out on this first quarter. 7-0 is our score. We'll return to Tampa after this message. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. Now a give to Peterson running left. Down to about the 22 here. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. If you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
On second down, it's Jones. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On third down, here's Jones. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
Right side caught by Jackson. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A good pickup there at 22.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on the line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Now Jameis on second down. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle.
Ready? Blue ready. Let's go.
Off the play fake, Winston going for it all. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had. Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in what you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week. You must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
The Redskins on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Jordan Reed has it. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
This quarterback now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. The Pro Bowler Brent Grimes brings him down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
You got him. Leopard! Leopard!
A 10th carry now for Peterson. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
First carry. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Moving backwards on first down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on second down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time He was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll drop the throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Brent Grimes. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved.
Offense.
Yeah, that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Ready? Black 22.
From the gun, Winston. He hits Rodgers in the flat. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Well, that's something of a pick-me-up, but the offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Granted, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now they'll run it on the toss. Spinning away. And here a juke. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. 41 yards on the ground. Well, hello. I mean, it took him a while to get him a rep, but that's quite an introduction to this game.
And not just hello. How about goodbye to the defense as he went past him? Big-time run on his first carry of the game.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 34. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Following the penalty, it's Peterson. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They'll try and sneak it here. And no signal, but I don't think he got the surge behind center. No, he's going to be kept out of the end zone.
Well, I think the effort was there, but sometimes the defense is just a little bit better. No gain on the quarterback sneak, no place to go.
All right, here we go. Blue landed! Blue landed!
They'll go to P-Rod, trying to pound it in. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Redskins. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Redskins who have the lead here. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll begin with a matchup we don't see too often. New Orleans on the road in Cincinnati, and they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. From there, we'll head to Cleveland to check on the Browns at home at First Energy Stadium. And at this point, they trail the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Mohamed Sanu, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. And in that one, it's the visiting Dolphins who are out in front. Ryan Tannehill's thrown a touchdown there. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So out now come the Redskins. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down.
Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way that's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets them to 3rd and 3 now. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Richardson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 16 and give him a first down as well.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
They go play action here on first down. And his throw here is incomplete. Samaje Perine, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. Following the interception, Winston able to shake it, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. Matt Ioannidis in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Like the footwork back there, I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. Now a second down throw for Winston. And Brate, the tight end's got it. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Ready?
From the shotgun, it's Winston. He's got Evans. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in, and it's not hard to defend.
Jackson's got it over the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And he is caught at the 7-yard line. Catch number 44 on the year. It's a first down.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Ronald Jones, his second touchdown on the season. And the Bucs have made this a one-score game.
We got a little bit of everything on that run. Offensive line creating some space, but how about the guy running behind his pads into the end zone?
What does that mean when a guy says running behind his pad?
Means that he's going to be a physical runner. That way he's able to use his shoulder pads, his forearms, anything to ward off people, but power his way forward.
Throwing, Winston. And this one is caught. So they come up with a two-point conversion, and that makes this a one-point game now. I guess the coach looked at the two-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a three-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a two-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Here's Peterson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. And he's going to be out of bounds right at the 40. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Nice idea, nice concept there. Line him up on the left side of the formation, let him sneak his way across, coming back underneath, put it in his hands, let him get a few more yards after the catch, too.
Great way to utilize a tight end on the drag route.
And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now they'll run it on the toss. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves them with third down and just a yard to go.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Redskins on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's Pirine. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. And this defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Now a run with Peterson. Another 13 yards there twice in a row, and they're on the move. Another first down as well.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Leopard!
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to take this down to about the 17. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Peterson. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
Haven't met a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job holding to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down. The Redskins on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Keller. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
Now a play fake here on first down. Being chased out left. He'll leave it for Kelly, complete. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. So he rolls out of the pocket left, just ends up finding a safety valve, but no gain there.
No gain, but it looked like they were well coached on the play because he still went through his progressions, and the receivers know that when the quarterback exits the pocket, they have defined routes to run now to get into his sight lines and try and help him out. End up throwing it short to the running back. Give the defense credit for not giving up any yardage.
And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. And this is taken in for a Redskins touchdown. Jeremy Sprinkle, his first touchdown on the year. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Hopkins with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So out come the Bucs now. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Jameis to throw it. Got it complete to Rodgers. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. To give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Winston now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Play fake. Winston. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Play action is supposed to be used to slow down pressure, slow down blitzes. In this case, though, if it takes a little too long to develop, you got people right in your face.
And lucky just to get rid of the ball with the arm going forward. Could have been a fumble. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Play action now. Winston. Full right side caught by O.J. Howard. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage that's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. After the penalty, it's Jones. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and forever. They go play action. Winston. He's going to look deep down the field. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
And he'll take this in at the 1-yard. And deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And maybe getting a little too cute there on the punt return. Sometimes they forget paramount holding on to that football.
I really do believe most of the return guys think to themselves, when I get the ball, I'm going to make the play that's going to change the game. I'm going to break it. And you love that they have that attitude, but your point is so well taken. What do you have to do? First and foremost,
hold on to it.
Take care of the football. That's all he needed to do.
Ready, blue lady, let's go.
They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
They'll go again to Jones. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Back now in Tampa. It's Buccaneer football, but they've got work to do. They find themselves behind here to start the 4th quarter. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Working out of the gun, Winston. That's going to be caught. And he doesn't quite make it. They do stop him, but he gets it all the way down to the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And a 2-score game, obviously. Every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
He'll get it up the middle. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
One back in the game. That's Jones, second and goal. One receiver to the left is Evans. Here's Winston. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10.
Well, in my time in football, I've yet to see a playbook that draws up offensive plays designed to lose yardage. A running play loses yardage on first down. They try and throw it, take a sack on second down. What can the offensive coordinator come up with here on third down?
Third and goal, Winston. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Deshaun Jackson scoring a touchdown against his former mates. And the Bucs are able to make this a close game again. So very late in the game here, but with that score, some light at the end of the tunnel.
There's still hope. Now they look at the score and say, hold on a second. This thing's not over yet. Let's keep battling.
Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. Extra point good by Catanzaro. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there, because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
There's several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Here's Winston to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll make this a second down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. On 1st and 10, Winston. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll bring up a second down. Again, it's Winston. He finds his target. It's Evans. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A familiar ring to that one. Winston to Evans for the Buccaneer first. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if you have...
And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Zach Brown in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From the gun, Winston. Over the middle to Evans. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Bucks on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Winston. He finds Humphries. Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Adam Humphries, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bucks have taken the lead here in the 4th.
There it is, partner. You see it. 4 fingers.
You're holding
what
up
does that
4
mean?
fingers. That signifies the 4th quarter's here.
That's right. Who's going to dominate? Usually both teams are holding them up. We own the 4th quarter, what we found out so far. 2 touchdowns here, and now they've taken the lead.
Yeah, second one putting them in front. You know what I see on the other sideline, though? It seems like they've tensed up, had that lead. They were playing not to lose it, and they've lost it.
That's a great observation. When you play not to lose, you usually don't win.
Now, though, they'll have the opportunity to respond. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
A really nice gain of 25 yards. Now they'll run it on the toss. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And this one complete to Reed. And he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Space to run past the 20. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Chris Thompson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Redskins have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive, 4 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And we shift to spotlighting Mike Evans. Let's see here, Charles. 6 catches, over 100 yards. Call that a pretty good day at the office.
And I love the accumulation, the catches, the yardage. That means he's having a pretty good impact on this ball game and really helping his team out in a big way.
Means he wants the football again, right?
And it's funny because some of these receivers are very vocal about how much they're getting it. Others are quieter, but they still let you know, give me the ball, I'm going to make a play.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Now Winston. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Oh, he caught it. Just couldn't get the feet down. Couldn't get that toe tap sequence, right? I was ready to call him tippy toes if that one was completed.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down.
It's going to be a long... Ready, got up, blue ready. Got up.
Now Winston. And that is incomplete. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This will be fielded at the 17. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. A huge play there for Washington. 51 yards on the ground. Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off.
Here we go.
1st down, here's a run with Peterson. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Peterson. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Adrian Peterson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
They get one more as the extra point's up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
They find some open field here. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. First down now, but that clock rolling. Here's Winston. He hits Rodgers in the flat. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll be second down. Winston to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. They're in a good spot. Two-possession game, barely, but a two-possession game here late. Now they just have to put this game on ice.
Let's face it, right now, they're talking about ball security, taking care of it, not allowing anything crazy to happen, because we've seen nutty things happen down the stretch, but they also have the security of the scoreboard. With that type of a lead, even if something goes haywire, they're still in good shape.
Thompson. And some room to maneuver. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. As they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. The Redskins, they can smell victory now. They take a knee. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12.
No surprise at all.
Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for Washington, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Houston Texans. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.